inconsistencies, doesn't it? Therein lies our inconsistencies.
To me, it kind of speaks to kind of tell off what Bots was saying. It speaks to one of the things that really bothers me about this current generation, how bad the mentality is, in that when there's nothing to lose, almost, it's not even necessarily big games, because there could be a big game, but there's a lot of high stakes on it. But when it's a big game and there's nothing to lose, they can show up. And when there's pressure to be had, they can't deal with it. So that's why I thought, okay, there's nothing to lose today. Arsenal expected to spank us. You know, I felt like there was something to be got. So whereas most people are a bit happy about the result and all that, I'm not impressed, man. I'm
not okay. Do you know what then? That's fine. I'm not impressed at all.
I'm a bit embarrassed. I'll be honest. I'm embarrassed with some of the behaviour I've been seeing. Even that Arsenal Jabbo video, as funny as it is, we drew 1-1 at home. I know we've been rubbish, but relax. I'm not impressed, man. I don't.
What are you saying then? Obviously, we should have won, but like, what are you trying to say?
The way I'm feeling about United from game to game, I don't have the luxury of being happy or sad or whatever from game to game, because to me, we have such huge issues that any one game isn't going to sway me either way. It's not going to really make me feel, oh, we won. And we didn't even win, but whatever. It's not going to make me think, oh, we got a good result or whatever. That moment might last for like 5 minutes, and then, oh, look at these rubbish players. Can we swear?
It's late, bro.
Look at these dead players. Look at these, come on, man.
People said, "Can we swear?" and uses the word "dead." That's funny.
He's loading it for later.
That's fine. He says it himself. But you know what? Then okay. Do you know what? That's fine. But in that match, I saw some gems in that match, which we're going to get onto. See, this is why I wish I started at the end with the Arsenal thing. But anyway, there's some gems in that match, yeah? Just like KG was talking about earlier, right? Was there not some gems in that match?
Yeah, there was good performances, like, from some of the youth players. Like, Heaven coming off the bench shows us that we should be reading our Bible. Shows us that there is light on the other side. He shows us well.
Finish right
now. He put in a solid performance. He put in a solid performance when he's only 18. He's coming up against Arsenal's first team after Arsenal, he came from Arsenal's youth team, didn't he? He's come to us, probably been a bit rushed into his first team performance. Probably didn't want to start him as soon as we started him, but when he's come on, he's a left-footed centre-back and he's doing his job there. And yesterday, he clearly showed when he picked up the ball in the midfield, he carried it deep and he laid off a few passes. He was doing well. I genuinely
I saw him in the box at one point when in open play. It wasn't even a corner. In open play, I was like, that's Heaven. What's he doing that, bro? But you know what? If he's that kind of player who is able to bomb forward and provide something, you never know. Give it a chance, innit?
I saw Collier. Sorry, as well.
He's made a good first impression, Heaven. He played decent against Fulham as well. He made a good first impression. That's all I'm going to leave it there.
That's what I'm saying, though. But this is, so hold on, just a good first impression, yeah? So that's what I mean about these gems, yeah? Do you know what? I might leave this little section at the end that I was going to do for a whole nother show now, yeah? Because I feel like we need to get into this a little bit better when we come to talking about our players that we think are gems, that should be looked forward to as the future. Yeah, and even not just the future, but the here and now. We have players that I feel like have been disrespected and undermined when it comes to appreciating what they're doing for the team so far. I know we're shit, but there's also people that have been carrying us, like Bruno, that everybody is always disrespecting because he's always dashing away things and blah, 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 blah. But like I said, if I get into that, then we won't get into the main crux of this show. Yeah, so let's leave that one for a little bit later, yeah? Because as the title of the show says, yeah, Sir Jim's clapping back, yeah? He's had a couple of interviews, not just one. I think he's had 2 or 3 interviews, right? And just try to correlate all the interviews together. He's saying some spicy things back to us fans, There's some spicy things being said towards us fans, yeah? there's a section where he almost says like, you know, it's you man's fault why we kept Ten Hag. Yeah, like we make the decisions, yeah, right. Well, almost. I'm gonna read the quotes later on, yeah. But the quote that I would like to start with, right, is when he speaks about our spending ability in the summer, regardless of even buying if we don't even buy a player, that we be spending close to £90 million without even buying a player. And that's because, okay, let me just read the quote first. Yeah. So Sir Jim says, this summer, we will buy Anthony, we will buy Sancho, we will buy Casemiro, we'll buy Martinez, we'll buy Højlund, we'll buy Onana. And they're all around 17 million each. And if nobody buys players, it's not a light switch that can be turned off. So this is what he's saying. Basically, he's burdened with the sins of the past this summer before he even goes to think about buying new players. But wasn't he in charge of buying some of those players? Was he here?
No.
When did Ineos actually officially start
Last summer was their first.
So last summer is them.
So it'd be Xerxes, Ugarte, Euro, De Ligt, Mazraoui,
and Mazraoui, yeah.
Aiden Heaven,
guys,
and Chino Obi Martin.
Let's
They're
go
all
back a
the
bit.
they're
Let's
the
go
only
back a bit.
signings that you can accredit to Ineos.
All clubs buy players and pay in installments. So this isn't abnormal. Don't just think it's a Man United thing or whatever. Every club, Premier League club especially, because the amounts, when they're buying players, they do it in installments. The installments, the agreement is with the club that they're buying from. They then account it based on the player's contracts. They amortize it based on the player's contract, usually 4 years, 5 years, or whatever. But those installment plans could be 10 years, could be 2 years. Do you understand? It's based on what they've agreed with the selling club. But that's a standard thing that goes on with all teams. 90 million, and remember, it's not 90 million. We owe around 300 to 400 million in transfer installments. And I said this on one of the shows before when I called in. I was told, or I read somewhere that it was 150 million that's due this summer. He says 90 million. Either way, it's a lot that's due this summer. And that comes out of FFP or PSR or whatever. So with what Ratcliffe was saying was correct. Obviously, he's going to spin it to suit him and to absolve himself and his team of any issues or of any involvement.
So what I've taken from that particular comment, and funny enough, I've just put it into the group chat that we're in as well, is I said that is a soft launch for when we don't spend in the summer.
Yeah,
that's what he's done.
100%. 100%.
He's laid the line nice and early, saying, "Oh, we're paying 89 million this summer for these players that I never bought." Right. So when it's time to spend in the summer, he's going to say, "Well, no matter what we spend, just always remember we had 89 million plus." Now, I don't know how clubs work, so I'm not going to say that I'm speaking fact here. But I don't remember ever the transfers from last season or 2 seasons ago that's been broken down, which every club does, affects the latest or the most recent summer transfer budget. I've never heard that before, but that's what he's basically saying, right? So if you hear in the news that it's 200 mil we're going to spend, what Jim is saying is 89 million of that is going to all those old players, by the way.
Yeah,
so
you know what?
That's what he's doing, and that's why I said soft launch. We're gonna hear more about this closer to the end of the season, especially if we don't win nothing. If we don't win Europa League and it's not that boost on top, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna crank it up during the summer. Like this is what's going to happen
because
we didn't get Europe and all the rest of that. And all the rest of that, right?
Oh, well, I mean, they've already started that sell to buy buzz, isn't it? Like K-Flow says there.
100%. They're already starting. It's all these little buzzwords and comments that have been coming out in the news. It's all soft launching for a torrid time in the summer. And they've been doing this. They've been loading this since pretty much since Amrin took the job. But what scares me is, did Amrin know that was happening? Because I don't think he did.
That was my question. This was my question.
I don't think he did. Right?
This was my
and especially
question.
when you get the news that they didn't take Amrin in the summer because they thought they had to invest too much to play his playing style, already scares me. Because it's like now, I know. Anyway, I've said Ineos Watch has been going on for a long time. I'm watching them sideways. And this interview, from what I've watched so far, did not help. Because in that interview, he spent 90% of the time telling us about the money. Everything was related to money. Not about the investment that he's going to put into the club to make it better. Not about the titles. Not about blah, blah, blah. It's all about money. Money that is being spent or has been spent already. I'm close to saying there was a lot of excuses.
To address that point, though. I feel like you just have to address that point a bit, though, because every other news article we've seen over the past few weeks has been United have cut this for things. United have stopped spending money here. United have cut this. United have cut that. United have cut this, and that. And I feel like when you're being interviewed after weeks of media coverage talking about how much you've cut something, you rather have to address most of that in the interview. And I feel like he's come out to explain why they've done what they've had to have done. Like even yesterday on Sky Sports, you had Gary Neville sat there going, United were one of the biggest clubs in the world. Now they can't even afford to feed the staff. Like, it's still a big issue that he keeps getting talked about, and now he's come out and addressed it.
Yes, he has come out and addressed it, but some of the questions weren't based on money. They were based on performances and players. Like that spin he tried. I'm talking about the what's this? The overlap interview with Gary Neville. I don't know about the one he's done on BBC. But when Gary Neville was asking him about the squad, and he goes, well, if you look at the wage package, half the team is not available to that. I'm like,
I do anything.
I was like, why have you brought that up? He's asking you about the players. He's asking about their performances. He's gone straight to the finances. Right? And then he's trying to make it out like we're paying less for the players that Amrin has available. Or we're paying, technically, he's got a reduced squad. We know that, right? But why are you explaining it in a financial way? Oh, yeah, Luke Shaw, you pay him this much, but he's not available.
Because that's all he knows.
Do you think that's what I was just about to say? Do you think that's the only way he knows how to explain things? Like he's not
Absolutely.
I don't think he's technical enough to explain it on the level that you're looking at it, Abs, because you're looking at it more on like the footballing aspect of it. I think he's a businessman, so all he knows and how to explain certain things that's going on in an organization that he owns or he runs is on the numbers level. He doesn't know how to break it down any other way.
I feel like he knows,
and that's what I got from it.
And Riri, like for me, the person that I now understand him to be is he's literally understanding it like this. He says, "All right, who's your highest earner is supposed to be the best player. Second highest earner is the second best player. Third highest, like it's literally like that.
Numbers, it's literally numbers in his head.
I disagree with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like he said it himself. Well, you can't hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, he said. He said it himself that he's a fan of the club. So being a fan of the club, actually, bro, he said it in the interview. Yeah, he said it.
Say a lot of things that might not be true.
That's very true as well. That's very true. But if he's trying to say that he's a fan of the club, yeah, you got to know from our perspective, and then add your own analytics as well.
Can I reply to that when you finish?
Yeah. So I'm just thinking he's talking about the aspects of wages in terms of, okay, cool, these are the players that are worth as much as we think they are. Well, he thinks they are at the moment. When it comes to performances, clearly we're not doing well. But this is where I critique Ratcliffe in terms of the fan aspect. You can see how us as fans, we're raging, and he's just there like, okay, cool, these guys are raging, but I'm still going to use the business side. I feel like he's finding it hard to juggle both being a fan and also owning the club.
Cool. So my response to that is, bearing in mind, when he was buying the club, he sold that he was an everyday person. He was down to earth. He's from this area. First things first, his accent does not sound like a down-to-earth person, but that's a personal thing. I'm just going to remove that because all billionaires seem to sound the same, which is They didn't go to the same school that I went to, that's for sure. Second of all, he said he's a fan. He's not talking like a fan. He's talking like an accountant. Now, I don't know if you guys listening to it like that or don't like that. But if we're talking about performances about a player and you've built up yourself as a fan, speak about the performance of the players. Don't tell me about money. We've already seen all your brutal cuts. I understand that I asked for open heart surgery and I'm going to take it in. But I thought the open heart surgery was going to be on the players, not on the day-to-day workers of the club, right? He's talking about, there was a consultant that was getting paid for body language and stuff like that. I did a little research. That's very common in clubs. All the mental health thing, all the player psychology, body language.
We had this conversation last week, though, that they need that stuff.
It's very common in clubs, especially top clubs. They tend to have more. So for him to sit there like an accountant and go, but this person's getting paid 100, yeah, because they have to do it for all the players, all the youth players. It's a big job. It's not a small job. I know Real Madrid have a couple of that. I know Barcelona have a couple of that. I know Chelsea do. I know Arsenal do. So why are you bringing that up? Damn, you sound like an accountant, bro. Don't sound like a fan. And you don't sound like the open heart surgery that we need.
No, but how can he play both sides? I mean,
I have to agree with Dream. Like, how could
just to jump in on that?
One at a time, please.
He can't sound purely like a fan because he has to take the ownership stance. He has to make tough decisions. But where I do agree with Abs is that he's very far removed from fans. He doesn't have to be that far removed. He doesn't speak any of the same language that fans are speaking. In the interview today, when Gary Neville questioned him on certain reductions that they've made and withdrawals of payments to charities and funds and things like that, when Gary Neville put to him that couldn't players have contributed, couldn't they have done like charity events and appearances to pay for these things? It's not that big amount of money in comparison to the money United are usually talking. He said, we didn't even think about that. No one at the club suggested that. My point is, if he was
that's
closer,
a lie. Bruno wanted to pay for something.
I know that.
That was embarrassing.
If he was closer to being a fan, closer to Manchester, then these things there's no way he'll be talking like that. Just to add to that point as well, he did sell himself as the local lad done good and all that stuff. But my man lives in Monaco and he's a tax exile. But then on one hand, he's not refusing to pay tax by living in Monaco. But then on the other hand, he's now trying to get in on Southern Manchester funding from the government to pay for whatever. There's so many things that just contradict. So I'm not having him at all. The interview, he spoke very well, as most billionaires would do, and I'm not surprised about that. He spun it very well as well, though. And when there were tough questions, especially, and I want to come onto this part as well, when Gary Neville moved to the Glazers.
Which tough question? Bro,
Gary Neville moved to him about the Glazers. He did.
I don't really think they were tough questions.
I don't.
They were.
Okay. Please give me the example of which one you call a tough question.
All right, I did make some notes.
I'll give you one straight away. When you talked about
was just about to point out one, actually.
Hold on, let Hulken go. Let Hulken go.
Yeah,
one at a time, someone, please.
Gary Neville spoke to him about the Glazers and the burden that their ownership has had on the club. And Ratcliffe did what he could as a rat to squirm out of answering it. Gary Neville even said, I understand your position. They're your business partners. You can't insult them and this, that, and the other. He did his best to worm around that question. On the Glazers, he was very avert. He avoided it as much as possible. So that's one area that I was pleased with Gary Neville, but at the same time, I could see that they're chummy. Gary Neville's a Ratcliffe guy. I could see that. But that's one area that I think that he did do well. He did really confront him on the Glazers, and Ratcliffe did his best to avoid the situation. Everything else he said was how we're hemorrhaging costs and this, that, and the other. But then he didn't mention anything about how bad the interest is and whose fault that is. The fact that their ownership has cost us almost £2 billion
You know, I
in
think
total.
I think this is a better question to ask, yeah, because you say it's a tough question. Do you think there were any honest answers given for any of the tough questions that were asked? Is what I should have asked. Do you think there was
No.
any good, viable
No, there was.
truths to pull
Do you
from
expect?
these questions that were asked?
I
What-
don't think there was.
Didn't he?
But I wouldn't
didn't
expect
he-
that.
Didn't he admit he said like, okay, Eric Ten Hag, that was an error.
That wasn't a tough question.
Of course you know that one, bots. Bots, of course you know the Eric Ten Hag one. Yeah.
That wasn't absorbing
I heard
himself.
it and I clocked it. I
Your
was like, okay.
X
That's the
THTL.
you can't, whether you
second.
like the guy or not,
Yeah.
that sounded like an honest response.
He blamed the fans. Listen, I'm
Blame-
bro.
he blames the
fans.
fans.
But I don't know where it was. I don't know if it's on this. It's on this interview with Gary Neville. But there seems to be somewhere else on Twitter where he kind of blamed the fans for keeping Eric Ten Hag.
No,
On the Gary Neville one,
says it was wrong. It was
yeah. On the Gary Neville one, he said it was wrong. So I don't know. I don't know if he's done an interview before, seen the feedback, and then changed it for the Gary Neville podcast.
But
I
would
don't
you say
know.
that's a tough question. It's easy
I
to
don't think
blame
it's a tough
someone else.
question. It's clear as day.
No.
It's easy to blame
No,
someone
100%. It's a tough question, but I feel like he answered it weird. Because I would be honest. Is it the fans or is it you? Because you're talking like you made a mistake.
So you guys have all spoken. So my take on this interview is, and I don't look at it from an emotional fan standpoint, because I'm not that. I haven't been an emotional fan in a very, very long time. This dude is a businessman. He was in an interview, and he is not going to sit there and speak from an emotional standpoint. He is going to sit there and speak from a number standpoint. He's not going to give you guys what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Let's just set that expectation right out the bat. He's not going to give you what you're looking for. He's not going to come in there and be like, oh, yeah, I'm a boyhood fan and I feel like, the Glazers ran this club into the... No, that's his business partners at the end of the day. And he's not going to throw them under the bus. Not going to happen. It never happens in corporate. Never. There's no way, how it's going to happen. And I get what you guys are saying. And for us as fans, yes, we would love to see that. We would love to see somebody go scorch earth on the Glazers. Everybody would love to see that. But he's not going to give that to you. He's not going to give that. And he came in.
I agree with that.
Based on the questions that he was asked, he answered them in a very politically correct way, without implicating himself and his higher ups that he hired, or try to put them in a difficult position. And that's what a true leader does. He's not going to come here and give you guys what you want.
Sorry, Joe, can I interrupt you for a second? Because I've seen a comment, right? And this is when people open their mouths that don't know who's actually talking. I have run a club. I have run a club. I have run a team. I've also destroyed a team because there was no money. And I'm now helping run another club that's tight budget, and we're talking about money. So for someone to be in a comment saying, I don't know how to run a club, I've never done it, you need to shut your mouth. You don't know who I am. So you're calling people stupid as well because we have an opinion. You need to watch your mouth, boys. You need to watch your mouth. My experience might be small, and I'm not United level, but I've got the experience. So watch what you're talking to. I've seen the comments twice. Sorry. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Calm yourself, brother.
I'm
Stop
calm.
attacking.
Don't worry.
I think that person apologized, by the way, Abs. So
There was an
apology. There was an apology.
So I think you owe him an apology.
I feel there was some tough questions, and then there was some legit, like Gary Neville when he was asking about the cuts and all of that, and like literally asking to speak on the cuts and stuff like that. So
I mean, that's what he wanted to talk about, though. That's the thing, yeah. That's why I don't feel like it was hard. Like you said,
but Joe, in any interview, your lawyers come in and they'll tell you. They have lawyers. They have all these people in the background that say they come in and they tell the interviewer, these are the questions you can ask. These are the topics you can ask. You cannot veer from that. if you do veer from that, we will cut the
It
interview.
will be terminated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Yeah. Pushing back on certain things have to be there. You can't just come to any interview. Imagine, right? You know what the interview is. It's overlap. Yeah. You know certain questions are going to be asked
Yeah,
because
you'll
he's
get-
not amazing enough. Yeah. You're going to get some tough questions that he would obviously have to tick off on and be prepared for. Like you said, yeah, he will be prepped for the interview in that case, in them words, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But there were some things that were said, like what Bots landed on a minute ago, yeah, that he was saying about how he can you repeat the words that you said about the interview when he spoke about Eric Ten Hag?
He said it was an error, and he said, like he
Why are you missing out the bit? Here's the thing though, Boss, you're missing out the bit, yeah. There's one bit that you're missing out, yeah, because he criticized the sacking, and he said he was criticized about the sacking, and he said that it was just mistakes.
Yeah.
The Eric Ten Hag thing was slightly misguided. There was a lot of debate at the time around him after he won the FA Cup final. The fans clearly wanted him to stay, and we took the view that we'd stick with him, and we made a short call.
Yeah, because people were going to him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as a business, look at all the decisions that you've made thus far that we don't agree with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I feel like we have.
Why would you have taken the fans into consideration if you already had a plan?
Because he's taken the fans into consideration, it's not worked, and now he's just not taking the fans into consideration when moving forward. That's what he's done. He's fingered. He's seen it's not worked.
Fans into consideration. Here's one thing, yeah. Don't you think if you're gonna take a decision to keep a manager, bro, you got to see it through, yeah? Well, I did anyway. But I don't.
He did. He kept in until the next season, and clearly Ten Hag didn't do well in the coming weeks. And Ratcliffe even said in his interview that the group was new as well. The five people that were joining him. He said that all five of them were new. They all joined late. So to get them to accustom to each other, and then now they're looking at the stat sheet. Okay, Ten Hag's won a trophy. Let's not sack him right now because what we're gonna do, we need to go around and try to find a new person to join the team. We're all new ourselves. Let's all come together. And then now, the next season, now he's not really doing well. That's when the whole if buts and maybes, who should we get a new manager in, all that stuff came about in it. That's how it was. So it's a whole decision making that I feel like was right and wrong at the same time. So now I feel like coming from, I don't know if I believe it, but I understand it. I understand
That's one
was,
thing I believe, though. I believe because he did mention it was an emotional decision. He also mentions that many of them hadn't got their feet under the table; they just arrived. It was a too big a decision to make so soon into their tenure. I believe that, but I also believe
that. I think that's one of the most honest answers he's actually got on these interviews. Actually,
yeah.
But I also believe it's very easy to absolve yourself and use that as an excuse when it goes wrong, which it did.
Yes.
And now it went wrong.
It's
very easy to say, oh, the old management team made that decision. It's on them. So I believe that part of it.
As the accountant he was, right? I'm surprised that he never, probably he can't do it either. I don't know, legal things, right? But those sackings, both of them, Ten Hag and Ashworth, in my opinion, or from what I've gathered, is worth way more than all the cuts he's been doing in the club itself. So when he says, oh, we have to do that, but you're not accounting for that, saying, okay, I know it look, because he never put those two things together. Again, I haven't watched the full thing, as I said before the show. So maybe he does. So you guys can correct me.
He doesn't.
He never put those two together. I said, oh, look, I know we're cutting 230, blah, blah, blah. And I know it looks bad because we've also just given away 16 million or whatever because of these two sackings. And then say, okay, we apologize for that. It's like he handled them separately. But then, like I said, everything was going back to the money. But it didn't feel like you need to take accountability for those two decisions you made because they're bigger than the other ones that you're doing now. That's how I felt anyway.
I mean,
you know what?
Later in the interview, he mentions, and this is something that kind of not bothered me, it stuck out to me. He kind of said, he mentioned faithful supporters, and then he said he considers faithful supporters to be season ticket holders. Now, one thing I've noticed in our fan base is that there seems to be a hierarchy type thing of you're only a true fan if this or if that. I know, Riri, you live in the States, I believe. There are people all over the world that do mad things at mad times of the morning to watch games or mad times of the night. Everybody can support according to their own circumstances. Doesn't mean you're more faithful than him. Those local guys that live down the road, if United was 300 miles away, would you be going every week? Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. So he did make separation. Oh, the faithful supporters. When he mentioned ticket increases. One second, really. He mentioned ticket price increases, and he confirms that ticket price increases are coming in the summer. And then he also said there might be different prices based on whether you're a faithful supporter or if you're. And he mentioned maybe a supporter from, I think it's in Malaysia or something like that. And that's what you call dynamic pricing. A lot of the online sites do it when they look at for example, Netflix charge someone in the UK different to what they charge someone somewhere in Asia, for example. Dynamic pricing on Amazon, for example, what people don't know is that based on my history, based on the things I like, the prices there for me will likely be different to my next door neighbor, maybe based on what they do. That's what you call dynamic pricing. He said something like that might be coming. So I think what I've taken away, he is very, very business oriented. There's not much wrong with that, but it does feel like there's no fan in there. There's no kind of relationship with the supporters and no understanding of the supporters. And that's the massive disconnect.
Can I ask a question off that though? Right, so I want to ask this question to Abs. Abs, could you be a fan of the club and also make the best decisions for the club
Abs, you're in
as
a
an
hot
owner?
seat today, man. What's going on, bro? You're in a hot seat today, Abs.
No, but like I was just saying before.
I like the temperature.
But I was just saying before that he was also a club, like he helped run a club. So could you make the best possible decisions for a football club whilst being emotionally attached to it in the sense of being a fan?
It can be a struggle, right? But here's where I think he's got to be careful, because again, this is all because of the things he stated beforehand, right? If he never stated that he was a fan or he's a local guy, I probably would just look at him and go, okay, you're an out-and-out businessman and you're going to deal. And why that's important is because he places him in the same bracket as the Glazers. And that's what he didn't want to do. He wanted to likely separate himself so that he gets better support. That's the energy I felt off him. So for instance, when he's doing dynamic ticket pricing, when he increases the price and mentions Fulham in London, you can't be a local person then, because you should know that the earnings in Manchester is different than the earnings in London, hence why the prices are different. So you can't then charge a Manc, right, top red, the same as Fulham when they don't earn the same. So now that's all business. That's not emotion. That's not because of people in your area. That's all business. And people that think like that just see numbers. They don't see the reason behind the numbers. Remember when they actually came out and people were talking about the house prices in both locations, not even close to each other. So how can you then tell them to pay the same prices? Also, I now get worried because as a fan, I'm saying, so now you're going to charge my American counterparts, Malaysian counterparts, are you going to charge them higher than what you pay if you're a Manc? Which can then maybe later on go, well, if you're from London and support United, you're going to have to pay higher than if you're a Manc. Like, all these things can happen at any time. And I just feel, perfect. Thank you, K-Flow. You're out of touch. You're doing numbers. And that's why I'm at him. That's why I'm at him about that. If he's just a businessman, I'll treat him like a Glazer and said, well, I'm going to.
That's what Gary Neville should have said to him. That's what he should have said in that question. Where are you? Where do you lie? So then
actually, by the way, this Gary Neville interview, Gary Neville has been, I've been seeing this on Twitter a lot, but again, I'm not trying to involve take in all this information. But it seems like Gary Neville's tune had been changing for a while on the Ineos thing. And then all of a sudden he gets an interview. And I don't know if I haven't watched the full thing. I don't know if he asked his proper hard questions, but the one I remember is that 40 grand one, which is absolute peanuts compared to what he's cutting down. and then for the guy to just turn around and goes, "Oh, I didn't think about that."
Yeah.
That's because that money was too small for you, bro. That's why you didn't think about it.
Gary
was
Neville
nothing.
he did ask some tough questions, but you could also see the familiarity between them. Gary Neville's a Ratcliffe guy. You got to remember, he's on that new stadium task force, so he's got his ulterior motives.
And
Gary
he's
Neville-
also running his club in a.
Gary Neville is big into property in Manchester as well. He's part of the redevelopment, so he's got
Gary
ulterior
Neville is
motives.
also he's a businessman.
You look
Yeah.
at the amount of
Also
property.
business.
No, but you look
You
at the amount
could
of property
see the,
around Old
you could
Trafford.
see
that
the
Gary Neville-
familiarity between them. He's on first name basis with him. You could see that there was a comfort there. But at the same time, he did ask him some tough questions. Something he didn't ask was, what's Ratcliffe's roadmap for full ownership, if there is one? Because
Where was you hulking in that interview? Where was
That's
you?
what I'm saying.
Great
This
one.
was too friendly.
But that question might have been excluded beforehand, like Riri said before. The lawyers could have gone to Rap and said, these
yeah, Connor,
topics
I
are
know
off."
that. I know that. But the point is, the fact that it could have been is a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not
No,
necessarily
please put vibes coming up
blaming
here.
whatever. I'm saying the fact that it wasn't put into that is a problem. Either Gary Neville forgot or omitted it, or for legal reasons, they said you're not allowed to ask this. So either way,
Hey, move that comment, man. Move that comment, bro.
either way, the fact that it's not there, because to me, another thing is that we are in financial. I've been saying this for anytime I've been on the show. I've been saying how bad off this club is dying. Like that is fact. This club is dying. We are in financial like hell, but at the same time, if you couldn't afford to get us out of that, why did you invest? Why didn't you let my man from Saudi invest or whatever, or buy the club outright? You couldn't. You couldn't afford to.
The
You're not
Qatari.
willing to.
No. One thing.
Well,
There's
well,
another part of that interview.
Yeah,
Go on,
I was
sorry,
just
sorry.
about- I was just
No,
about to
no,
respond
no,
to
no,
that.
no.
Ratcliffe responded
Let
to that.
Hulkin finish. Let Hulkin finish first. Let Hulkin finish
The
first,
reason why I'm
and then
saying that
you
is
can
because
talk on it.
I understand why he wouldn't want to clear the debt completely, even if he could, where he only owns 29%. So that's my point in that. Where's your roadmap for full
But you said you
ownership?
understand that.
Yes, I do, because he doesn't own. He could clear the whole debt, and then and then the Glazers, who own the majority, could say, "Okay, we're taking this back now," or just build up another debt. So I
Yeah.
do understand that. But my point I'm making is that fair enough, you don't want to do it now, but where's your roadmap for full ownership? That's number one. And number two, if you aren't willing to do that, why are you so happy to kind of cut everything from the little man? And what's worse in the cuts that he's making is how they're doing it. It feels
Can you
real
just put
sneaky.
that comment on stream? Can you just
It
put that
feels
comment
real
on stream
sneaky,
from,
and they're
ABS
not
Jones?
communicating these cuts before they do that. There's no compassion that's felt in these redundancies and all that stuff. We're hearing it from third parties, reports, oh, this, that, and the other, or people that are leaking the information. They're not coming out and doing it properly. So this rack, anyway, I'm done with these guys, man. I'm done.
Well, I also have to think.
See that
what you
statement?
said.
Put it back up, Joe. Put it back up and leave it up for a minute. Just leave it up for a minute. Leave that up for a minute.
So who cannot ask questions about what?
So I don't think
Talking about the interviewer, like I was saying earlier.
No. The point I'm making is
I fully understand that.
The reason for it.
Go on, make your point.
The reason for it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that it wasn't asked and that it's not being transparent.
Because
We
he
don't
can't
know.
ask it. Because he can't ask it.
Hold on. We don't know what kind of roadmap there is. You can put that out there. There's no law that says you can't put that out there. In a merger and acquisition, you are allowed to put out a roadmap for what's going to happen. So I'm not hearing that.
I
Fair
hear
enough,
that
you
as well.
could-
Because
but
you
the
can,
fact that
it
we
don't have to be the
know
precise
roadmap
one,
doesn't
but at least have something in mind that you have for the future. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be
But
exactly
they
what it is.
have put out a roadmap. It's just not a roadmap you guys want to hear.
What's the
What is
roadmap?
it?
They have said what they're
What is it?
planning. Oh, this interview basically, he in some of it he says what he's doing, where they're going with
He
this.
said in the next few years we expect to have a brand new. He said a new stadium that's one of the best in the world, new training ground that's one of the best in the world, and a competing team. That's not a roadmap. That is
That's not a roadmap for you, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not a roadmap.
What is your
dreams.
what would
So,
okay?
hold on. I think
What would be a
let me ask you a
satisfactory
question
roadmap?
then. What would be an
no,
appropriate
because there's two
roadmap?
different questions being asked here. He's saying a roadmap for full ownership, not about what you're spending about.
Yeah,
on
yours
the
is
club.
But
about
they
club.
can't come. But
different
Abs,
thing, no?
you know they can't come out and give you a roadmap for the full ownership. They can't do that. They can't.
Why not? Why not?
Because he's in a business agreement with it. It's going up. It's about an
Are
ongoing
you
business
guys
agreement.
basing it on a comment that you just saw? You know this for fact.
No, I'm
This is
telling
we
you,
know
if
it's a
you're
fact
in a
that
merger,
we-
if you're in a listen,
I like
I
this
work for a
conversation.
hospital. Listen, I'm gonna give it to you straight. I work for a hospital here in the United States that has acquired a few hospitals over the course of years, and we, the employees, don't get a roadmap of where they're going when they acquire those hospitals. We don't know. The patients don't get a roadmap of which doctor they're gonna go see once they acquire these hospitals, if they're gonna stay at this doctor or go to the doctor at the hospital closer that they acquired. They don't give you that. They're not entitled to give you that. Mergers and
Hey, I'm
acquisitions
going to
don't
push back on
work
that.
that way.
What you're saying is not factually correct. Fair enough, they don't usually do it, but there's no law that says they are not allowed to do it.
Yeah, but you can't force them.
So as stakeholders, as football supporters, as stakeholders, as we can ask for that. There's no law
What
that
was
says
that,
they can't do
Connor?
it.
Yeah, it was
That's my
Corner's chair. It's
Yeah.
been in Old Trafford. It sounds like it's been in Old Trafford, bro.
No, you know what? Pushing the chair. The
I'm
chair
sorry,
is-
Hulkin.
Connor is on bubble wrap, bro. Connor's on bubble wrap. What's that?
Nah, the chair is.
That's
the chair is
exactly
the chair.
how it sounded.
So
I'm hearing
I'm not.
bare snap.
By the way, I'm not.
bro. Bare Rice Krispies on that chair, bro.
I just started to
So-
move in my chair and then yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with anything that's been said so far. I'm just reading what the comments are saying, and I don't know if it's true. And I hate not having to do my research myself.
Abs, I know
Yes.
I know that it's true. I know what I'm saying is true.
So
There's no
the-
law that says you
For
can't
me, what I'm
broadcast the
hearing
roadmap
is
of full
like-
ownership.
Sure, Hulk, I think that's a fair question to ask, but like we don't know the full extent of some of unless all the documents are uploaded online and the fans see, we don't know the nitty-gritty agreements and terms and conditions
No,
of
I
some
get
of
that.
these.
I get that.
You know, yeah. So it's like, but I get the sentiment is right on asking like, bro, what is your plan in terms of acquisition? He could have just said something that was like that would give us, because this whole interview seems to me like it was an attempt to humanize Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos and make them really like, you know, appealing to the fans and also distract us.
after all the cuts they made, nah, mate, you need way more than that.
Go.
It's a failed attempt, obviously.
Why did they do it at this time? Why was it just at this time of all they had the whole time last year
You know why,
to do this
Freem?
interview? Why is it
Because
now
we're in
that
the
the time
country
that we're
now.
losing, we're 14th, I think 14, 50, I don't know where we are on the table.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now they decide, oh, you know what? Let's do an interview. Let's do something dramatic.
I've got an answer
and
for that.
basically on our
I
side,
can
be
guess-
like, you know
I
what?
can take
The
a guess
press is
for
going to
why.
be over. One second, let me finish. One second.
Yeah.
The press is going to be over, and they're like, yeah, we're done now. We can go back to our habitat and just chill, and then you lot can just bake off of that information that's like this. But yeah,
One, the fans just protested, right? So there needs to be some sort of reaction. There needs to be some sort of distraction, some sort of like smoke screen that's going to get people talking and focused on the wrong thing and not really being like the culprits. The true culprits are the Glazers. These guys were brought in to just make us, you know, pull us like puppets, you know, watch puppet strings and just literally be distracted. So that's one explanation. The second thing is that the team is not doing well. And we kind of need the fans need to know what is the plan moving forward with Ruben. Are these guys looking at Ruben like he's doing a good job? And he did answer that. He said, listen, I think like Ruben Amorim is doing a really good job.
Yeah, he likes him.
You know, so that gives you a little bit of clarity that, oh, okay, this summer we're most likely not going to be chopping and changing again. At least for me as a fan, that is how I feel when I see those words. So at the end of the day, I mean, whether he really truly cares about the club like he does, like he claims to. I don't think so. And I feel like he's just here to distract us, honestly speaking. But, you know, the one thing that I can also just big up and say that, like, one of the responses was that he said that, you know, if he didn't believe that, like, they could, you know, sort out and bring back Man United to where it needs to be, like, he wouldn't try it. He'd sell it to the Qataris or something. When he said those words, I was like,
yeah, but you notice how low he said that? You had to listen very carefully.
That
was very, 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 like, everything else he was saying, you heard it clearly.
Yes.
When he said that, his voice dipped so low. The inflection in his voice was so low when he said that. And that's what people listen to words. You gotta look at body language also.
Yeah.
You also got to look at body language. You also got to look at inflection in people's tone when they say certain things.
Yeah.
All of that you got to read into when you're looking at stuff.
100%.
Because I heard that when he said it, but it was so low. I'd be like, what did he just say?
Yeah, I had the
no one's
exact
allowed to
same
look into
reaction.
those things. They sack's the body language guy, isn't it? So
He was earning too much, innit? Really?
Oh, Joe, why you just throwing shade at you, man? He said you didn't invite him
I'm not
to
even
the
gonna
round table.
respond to that. I'm not gonna respond.
Yeah, again?
I said, Wajid showing shade at you. He said you didn't invite him to the round table.
I just said he can't make it to anything because he's in a different country when I ask him to come to things, and now he's telling me that.
It's
now
true.
It's true. Right, innit?
No, he's doing a Sir Jim. He's shifting the blame to you, bro.
Allow me, man.
You know what he said? You know what he said? You know what Wajid said? Wajid said, "Me nah beg friends." That sounds familiar.
Well, there you go then. So what's the problem then? Don't be upsetting it. Don't beg, Fred. You hear me complaining? Nah, but people want to drag me through court, but we're not going to get into that. That's neither there nor here. But anyway, let's. Do you know what? Yeah.
Hold on, wait. Can I ask a question, Joe? Before you move on, yeah, it's a light one. You know when Ratcliffe joined, yeah, his very first interview, I remember he's wearing like a grey shirt, whatever. Yeah, I think it was. His very, very, very first interview. Didn't they ask him why he joined the club and what was his aspirations for the club? And this links to what Hawking is saying in terms of asking the question of the roadmap. Because when you first join somewhere, you need to know, okay, what you're gonna do here. How you're talking, I'm gonna make the club great again. Bro, okay, but what else is there to offer? What is your plan? And unfortunately, we're not seeing it. We're just seeing hella cutbacks.
And by the way, this is why I think I've said promises. I know he didn't make promises, but it's his speech, general speech about how he was going to give us the stadium, which now has been confirmed, but he wasn't clear on who's going to pay for it. And all we're hearing is that he's asking the council to help pay for it, which I'm like,
he's not asking the council to pay for the stadium. The council think is to pay for the surrounding areas and the rejuvenation of the property around Old Trafford. The stadium and the area around the new stadium are two different things.
There's no clarity. There's no clarity, unfortunately. Like, I need clarity, and that should be said in this interview. Who's gonna pay for this thing? What is the role between everywhere? You're a businessman. You said you're a businessman, yeah. So do the business side of the work, and when people are asking you in this interview, say what's going to.
I'll be honest, Prem,
when I'm listening to it, I know what you're talking about.
I'll be honest, Prem. I think he was shocked about just how much money was going out everywhere, and how much money is being spent on play. I think it's easy to talk from the outside. Even me, I put my hands up. It's easy for me to have an opinion from out here because I'm not in United. I don't know how bad it is inside. And I think he got hit by the same thing when he was like, wow, it's really that bad. It's like Amrin and the players. I think Amrin also thought, the players can't be that bad. He's gone in, he's done a training session, he's seen them play, and he's gone, ooh, okay, this is harder than I thought. I think that's a lot of that has happened.
He did say that, yeah. He
said that himself, yeah. Just recently. I said this on another show. Yeah. So look, he's coming and he's got a harder job to do than he realized. So, sorry, say that again.
No, you're gonna move on. Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Ratcliffe mentioned about he didn't know how bad the finances were. He said it in the
Bro,
Times
you can
interview.
imagine putting all that money into a club, and then when you get there, you didn't realize how bad the finances was, and you were like,
So why did you join? Why? This is what I'm saying. Why did you join? Do you know what team we are?
No, but I have to.
Green.
I
Do
have
you
to
know what team we
let
are?
me explain. I don't know if you do
What is going
investments.
on?
I don't know if you do stocks. I don't know if you do any of that stuff. But a stock can look good from the outside, and you invest in it, and then next thing you know, you invest your money in it, and
Can I just
weeks later,
no, can I quickly just
something happens,
no,
and
no,
that's
can I
not
quickly just
good.
say something? Why do you probably be
happens,
able to
bro.
explain this better? Before Jim Ratcliffe bought us, they would have probably been sent the club's finances over the past few years. The clubs would have had to have shown Ratcliffe the
He mentioned
finances.
that. He mentioned that. And Riri, buying a whole club worth billions is not the same as investing.
But he didn't buy the whole club.
And CFDs. But the point is, he's investing a lot more than just retail shares that you and I will invest in. So it is different. Having said that, even when I'm investing, and I've worked in that industry, commodity shares and all that, you do enough due diligence. He has done enough due diligence, he said. Accountants, what's it called? Financial investigators, so on and so forth, and did their research into the finances of Man United before buying, before investing. He did all of that. And then it was still worse than what they discovered. So our finances are really, that can happen still as well. I do agree that can still happen. And people forget, credit to him, he's actually put in another 300 million whilst being there. All of that, most of it is gone already. So if he hadn't put, this club was on the brink of complete disaster if the Glazers didn't put out that they needed to get strategic alternatives. But he put in that money, a lot of that is gone already. So the finances were really bad. It can happen that things do creep up, that even with all the best will in the world in terms of the research and accounting and blah, 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 things can still come up that you wasn't expecting. And that has been his reality. And he did mention it in the interview with, I think, Matt Lawton or whatever in the Times.
Right. Hello. Everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can still hear you.
Oh, have you finished your job in Tesco? You're gonna import on the show now.
Was there a spillage on aisle 4, Joe, or something?
No, I was busy doing
Did the customer buy expired milk? Like, where were you, bro?
Were you doing a customer return or something?
Hold on. Why do I have to work in Tesco though? How can I be working from Tesco here? What?
Customer service, bro.
Anyway. No, all I was doing is I was trying to sort out something for the next section because we got derailed because I played Arsenal Jabbo at the beginning. So we started talking about Arsenal then. Yeah. So we didn't get into the next section that I wanted to talk about. So you know what? Let me try and segue from this Ineos talk, Glazer talk.
Before you finish, Abs, I need you to watch the interview and just comment in the group in the GC when you're done watching the whole interview.
Yeah, I plan to do that next.
I'm
I'm just saying the start wasn't great though. The start wasn't great.
I'm gonna hit this guy. I swear to God, plus one. Stop doing things.
Who's controlling? What's happening?
He has control as well, and I don't know what he was trying to do.
I'm just moving everywhere.
Oh, is this like when you have two controllers and you're both pressing the same button at the same time?
Yes.
Well, one's pressing X and one's pressing Y.
But put your hands on your head so we know you're not touching stuff. Like, just put your hands on screen so we know you're not messing around touching stuff.
Yo.
Hey, see, we can see his hands. We know he's not thinking.
All right. Transition. What did you want to segue into, Joe? You were about to transition us into.
Yes, but listen, I was trying to transition into the next section because after watching the Arsenal match, right, like I said, we saw a few gems come through, the likes of Heaven and stuff like that, right? But on KG's show earlier today, I did post a question to everybody, which he didn't quite get. And he said to say it on the show later on today. And I said, Ten Hag signings from last season. Yeah? How much of them are flops now? How much of them are flops now, in your opinion? Yeah. And And I did bring this up. 1 second.
Sorry,
Share
could you repeat that
screen.
again? Do you mean just this summer or all his signings?
Just this summer, just gone.
No, all his signings.
All the
He wasn't
signings.
always signing.
All his
All the
signings.
signings that are still here.
Oh, right.
All the signings that are still here, right? So all of these guys, I'm going to make it bigger in a second. 1 second.
I hope so, because I don't know how you expected us to see
Yeah,
that.
don't worry. I can zoom in.
Now we can't see at the bottom list, Joe. Who's at the bottom?
Don't worry, you don't need to see. Don't worry, you don't need to see. I've got
Why is that one of
What can you
Rasmus there
see?
like that?
which one?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Anyway, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Can I ask a question? Was Casemiro his actual signing, or was that the club bringing in
See,
Casemiro?
this is
It was a
something-
signing under
I'm
Ten
gonna
Hag.
discuss.
It was a signing under Ten Hag, so I feel
Yeah,
like
but
it
the
has
club
to be-
Because when you guys say his signing, I pretty much look at the people that he wanted, not the people that the club brought in during his time or his tenure as coach, as manager.
This is going
Because
to
some of them
cause-
are what the old regime wanted and brought in, and then the ones that he actually said, "These are the man I want y'all to go out and get me."
So this is
this is what I want to discuss.
Can I quickly
discuss all of that.
mention something from the start, right?
Go for
I
it.
want to say one thing right off the start. Managers generally do not get all the players they want.
Thank you.
Generally, right? Even Pep.
100.
So to make it easier, I think we should just put every player that was signed underneath his tenure, because one way or another, he would have wanted that profile. So, for instance, let's say he went, I want a Frankie de Jong, a guy that plays deep, controls the ball, and dribbles. If they have turned around and said, okay, what happens if we can't get them? He must have said, or he must have planned together with his scouts or whatever, okay, if I can't get that, can I get a defensive midfielder to help with the defense? So that's what I think happened. I could be wrong, but I
I
just
think
feel
you're
like-
wrong on that. Only reason I think you're wrong on that, is because he still tried to get that bald-head guy that I forget his name now. What's his name?
Berg,
That every-
Sander
Nah.
Amrabat.
Amrabat.
Amrabat. So I don't think he felt that Casemiro was the right decision. I don't think that was his decision. I think that was a panic buy by the club, if I'm being quite honest with you.
No, it
Yeah?
was. They said it. They
Abs'
said
point
it.
is correct, though.
But
Abs'
But I'm
overall
going
point is
to
correct.
include. But I'm going to include everybody that was signed under him.
Where's
All
that
the
prick
Premier
Onana
signings
then?
anyway.
Where's Onana?
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm still doing that one. Don't worry, I don't like him. But anyway, we'll do that in a second. We'll bring him on here in a second. I'll
Don't
finish
like
that.
him.
I'll go with-
We
I
don't,
don't
like
like
him.
him.
He's a prick.
But anyway, don't call him a prick.
What
That's
are
not
what
nice.
the categories
What I
again?
mean is he put every other player that got signed on the Ten Hag, but because he don't like Onana, you didn't put Onana on there.
I
What?
just forgot him. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
what
forgot
about
him.
Weghorst and Sabitzer? Are we keeping them?
I
or are they
said
just
we're
loans?
not doing. I said permanent signings. I did say
Right.
that.
Joe, someone's injured.
Oh yeah,
here.
Bayern there as well.
Joe,
What's
someone
Bayern
is
there?
injured. Someone is injured here, Joe.
Injured.
Yeah, look at Ugarte, bro. He's injured, bro.
Oh, his arms. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What happened, bro?
They're all in circles. That's why. But no, it's easier to move them around. They're all in circles. Look, he's missing
Bayern
the
there as
elbow.
well, Joe. Where's Bayern there?
Not buying it. What?
I don't
Listen,
think
we-
Joe. I don't think you realize how many players he signed. By the way, just by the way.
Can we deal with the ones? Hold on. Can we deal with the ones that are on screen first, and then we can talk about the ones that are off
Yeah,
screen?
let's get going.
Okay.
Let's get going.
Can we start
How
somewhere?
can you
Yeah.
prepare for this? I'm not prepared, bro. What's going on?
Brother, I prepped and I missed one. Brother, anyway, you should know what show this is. It's called Reckless for a reason. Don't ask me dumb questions. Anyway, as I was saying, out of the people that you can see for now, anybody that we've forgotten, we can go ahead and add at the end, But right now, the people that we have here to fuck around with, we've got the likes of Lenny Euro, who I deem myself to be a star already, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. We've got Lenny Euro, Martinez, Anthony, Mazwari, Xerxes, Onana, and
Wait, what are the categories? Though? 'Cause we can see Gem, can't
Right.
say. What's the bottom one?
Worthless.
I'd say, and
Worthless.
what less? We put what less? What less? And it's goes on. What less to blood seed now and what less? So basically, guys, the categories is like, someone for the future. You can't say you don't know, you're not sure about them, or what less, you just think they should be gone. think they should be going right now. They shouldn't be here. Let's just start with an easy one. Andre Onana. What does everybody think of him?
Get him to the bottom.
What left?
He is.
What left?
He. I was gonna say he's a gem. He's what?
Red. You gotta go on the red.
Nah, get him in. Get him down there. Get him all the way off screen. Get him off screen. Get him off screen. He's all the way.
He's going to go down here.
think-
Somewhere
with
down
Onana,
there.
yeah. I think we need to discuss how much of a priority getting him out is. Because to me, it's
Right.
now number one.
No, Hawkin. No.
For
I have
me,
to
it's
agree.
number one.
No.
We can't do this
You
again.
know what?
Man.
It's
We can't do
joint
this
one.
again,
And
man.
I'll give a full explanation why it's joint one. Yeah. Arsenal got away with a draw because of their goalkeeper. We can never rely on our goalkeeper to do that.
That's very true. You know, see the Martinelli shot when he
When he
on the
parried
pass.
it, he
carried
parried
it.
it, bro.
I was
Don't.
fuming. It was offside, though. It was offside, but I was fuming.
Nah,
He
but
tried to throw the
he's
game
done it
again.
consistently. Like the past few games, the Tottenham match, he did it there to Madison. What match did he do in the? Was it in the Ipswich match
Everton.
as well? He just
Everton
carries it
was
into
ridiculous.
space.
Everton was
Everett was a joke. He
He's
played
been
volleyball.
parrying like a ballerina for like the last 5 days.
To me, it's the shot stopping. It's his coming for corners and crosses. It's his distribution as well. His distribution massively affects the way we play. Massively affects the
I
way we
agree.
play.
He's always
Because-
hoofing it up the pitch.
The thing is, he will play it short and put someone in danger. They'll have to go back to him because they have no alternative. He bangs
Yeah.
it long and always goes to the opposition or out of play.
And then we lose
Right.
the ball.
Oh, he also slows down. The ball comes back to him and he slows it down all the time. He doesn't read the game. We could have good pressure. It could come back to him and slow
Dorgu,
it
the
down.
Dorgu incident as well. He doesn't read the game. Why is he come rushing out to Dorgu then? When Dorgu's
To
being
me-
chased down, offer him a pass in space.
He's the number one
You know what,
priority
yeah,
for
for
me.
me-
Well, at least if he's
You know what?
rushing, you've got to
Him
say
being
that.
the number one priority, I think he was actually Ten Hag's biggest mistake, in my opinion. Yeah, this was Ten Hag's biggest mistake here. Changing to Onana and not sticking with De Gea for one more season, because like I was saying now, he's the number one priority.
Let's not hear it.
Let me finish. Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Let me finish saying what I'm saying. You see, just like what Hawkins said, that now he's top priority. At the time, De Gea wasn't top priority. How about that?
Yeah,
He
De
was
Gea
top
wasn't
That's
top.
a fair
2018.
point. That's a fair point.
Was
No,
he?
De Gea
Was
was
De Gea
top priority from 2018. He was poor since
Shut up.
2018.
No way, man. Shut up.
Okay.
No
Right.
way.
Okay.
No,
You
guys.
guys have forgotten. You've forgotten.
Okay.
So
I'm
all this
I'm
is
going to
doing,
say
yeah,
this, right?
You can't even see what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, Connor, stop this, bro. We're gonna
You
have
know
to
what?
take you.
I'm not even going to.
No, I don't think Onana was Ten Hag's biggest mistake. There's like Mason Mount and Anthony. Those are like
Well, I still think Onana is his biggest with the Anthony. I mean, we're talking
No,
about Anthony.
I
in a
would say
minute, but,
Anthony. Onana's worse
I'll
than
tell you
Anthony,
what.
bro.
Mason
Onana's
Mount
better
for
than
sure.
Yeah, come on. Let's actually get some
Yeah,
answers.
let's move on. We've
Let's
spoken
do the
about
first
Onana for a
row, the
while now.
first 5 players. Let's do the first 5 players.
Right, so
First 5 players. All right. So let's talk about this guy. Woo, bad boy into the place.
Gem,
Lenny
obviously.
Euro.
Jam.
obviously.
Let's just stick him in the gem section.
Let's move
Hold on.
on. You know he's
To
let's
me,
move
can't
on.
say.
This guy, I think this guy's gonna
I-
push
I
him
have to-
towards
no,
Wilson, actually.
He's not a gem.
he's,
No, that's-
he's not a gem, but
Yeah,
he's not
okay.
a can't say.
in the yellow one. What's that?
Yes,
Can't
you
say.
can say he's
Can't
witless.
say.
Are you gonna try to tell me he's witless though?
No,
No,
no, but like
no.
the way this grading system's laid out is sort of like not the best, because you can't say he's a gem, but you can't say he's worthless because he has done well for us. You can't put him in the middle,
You
so
say
you
you can't
can't
say.
say how good he is.
So I'm going to be
What should I
different
reword
to
the
Connor.
middle? What should I
I'm going to
reword
be
the
different
middle?
to Connor.
No, but
and
Joe,
it's-
why did you put can't say as a category? I don't
Yeah.
think that should be a category.
I was gonna put.
There
all
should
of
be
the
like a
kind
fourth
of-
category of like there's a gem, there's like he's good for the club, can't say how well they're gonna be, and then worthless. It should be like an extra
Well,
category.
Joe, just put them in
Let
the.
me hold on, 1 second. Connor, here's the thing. It's a voting system anyway. You might say that, but you never know. He might end up a gem and witless in here.
Can I want to put him in a place, and I'm going to explain why. You guys can jump me. Don't mind. Don't mind at all.
Injuries.
On the first season, he was a gem, but now he's in that middle line between can't say and witless, and I'll explain why. His
Ooh,
injuries,
In between.
and his availability is now beyond the concern. beyond a concern, because now it's 2 seasons in a row where at least 25% of the season he's not available.
I agree.
If he does it 3 times in a row, the 4th year he's going to be 50% of time not available, or even more. So right now he's in that line, unless someone, and it's not obviously going to be our health people because they're rubbish. Our medical staff are rubbish. Unless someone fixes him, he's very close to that what list line.
I feel like the injuries that he got hit with are 2 different injuries, though. Like one was with his knee and one with his ankle. Like it was 2 different injuries that you can't.
It's
really
like he's becoming
serious injuries, though, Connor.
Well, yeah, but you can't really credit it to being injury prone when you're just getting 2
No, I didn't say he's injury prone.
No. Joe said he was injury prone, though. Joe said
I don't think he's injury prone. I think he's more so what Abs was saying. The fact that both his injuries were very serious and he's unavailable for the majority of the time. He's in that little gray area between can't stay and worthless, because we can't, by the way, Joe, worthless and worthless has 2 different meanings, bro.
When you look at Martinez, right, he's not like a player like Reece James. He doesn't have the same injury consistently where it's constantly his hamstring going,
not really.
But Connor, he struggled coming back from the first major injury. It took him a long time to get into some type of form. The second major injury, what's he going to come back like? Me personally, it's going to sound, but I wouldn't even put Euro in the gem yet. I would put him in can't say, because I've not seen enough.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with Euro being
I've not seen enough in the gem. And Martinez, I would put him in Watless at the moment, because I don't think he's going to come back the same.
And you know how ACL does to you as well, man. When you come back, it's not good.
You can say that you can't say that you're going to come back the same, but you can't say you get it.
I'd leave him in between Katsay and Worthless right now, because he's sort of in between.
Who hasn't had their say? Who hasn't had their say on Martinez? What have you had your say on Martinez?
What?
So I'm trying to remember if Van Dijk had a torn ACL or not. I think it was, and
it was.
Yeah. So Van Dijk has come back and become Van Dijk. So I think Martinez, for me, he's somebody that you can tell when he's playing for a team, the way he progresses the ball, he does it like no other, like in that left center back position. So he's
I agree.
I'm gonna respond to that in two things, right? One, the Van Dijk that came back is not the Van Dijk that was injured first. Let's not even do that, because the Van Dijk that was there before he got injured was a completely different beast.
Well, this Van Dijk was to win a Premier League.
Yeah, but he was a completely different beast. He was faster. He actually went to go tackle people. Why? The defending he does now is covering. It's not the same. It's not the same player. So he did come back, and he's still the best. Yeah, but what I'm trying to explain this, right?
I get that you mean he was a different beast, but at the same time, an intelligent player can adapt to what the tools that they have. Once again, innit? If you know you can't run fast anymore,
and I don't know if Martinez is that, because Martinez already had issues, which was he already had the physicality issues, so he was only trying to be smart to make up for that, and be aggressive to make up for that. Then he's been injured now twice. You think he's gonna come back and be as strong or as aggressive? I don't think so.
Now we have to wait and see for that one, innit? Look, my opinion on Martinez
that's why I put him in the middle.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it. This is the only reason why I'm putting him in the middle, right? I never said that he's injury prone, right? I never said he was injury prone. I said that after Abs made his comment about if he gets injured a third time for a long period of time as well, then he will be starting to be classed as injury prone. Let's face it. If he gets injured one more time next season for a long period of time, that's it. I'll call him injury prone now. He's come to Man United and become injury prone. You can't get injured every season for a long period of time and not be called injury prone. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going to put him in the middle of can't say and Watless here. And really, I understand that you're saying that Watless is a kind of different meaning to worthless. It's kind of like useless is the meaning of Watless, isn't it? Useless. Yeah, it's more useless. Yeah. So, but, moving. Okay, Martinez is staying in the middle line. I think that's a fair place to put him after everybody's conversation. He might move down to Watless next season, but for now, I think he's in that middle ground, isn't it? He's still got some shit to prove. Let's move on to the people that are still in this line, like the likes of this guy now, Casemiro.
Whatless.
He's completely whatless now. Has he been whatless the whole time he's been here, though? That's another question.
No. But he is now.
For his first season, he was solid for us. Like I have to agree with that. For his first season,
Listen,
no. But Casemiro for his first.
People forget so
That
easily.
time,
That first season, he was suspended for so much of it because he kept doing mad mistimed challenges. And
Was he suspended for that much though?
Let me finish. Sending
Yeah,
off
he
and
kept
so on
getting
and so
5 yellow
forth.
cards.
He started.
And then I think he missed about 8 or 9 games through suspension that season, from the first season. And then from the Carabao Cup final, from like February onwards, he was awful. He played well for about 7 months of the season. And since then, he's been awful. He might play pretty well here and there. He could do half a job or whatever. But people go back to the first season like he was brilliant. No, he wasn't brilliant. He was quite good. But then he missed a lot of games and then had a massive dip in form, like all of them did, like the whole team did, if you remember that season. So he's been whatless, in my opinion.
Okay, that's his opinion. Okay. All right, Connor, your turn. Talk your talk. Let's talk on Casemiro.
Right. When you look at his first
Why are you looking like a Smurf? Ain't you like 6 foot something, bro? Why are you all the way down there?
I'll sit up. Right now, in his first season, his first season, he was a key player for us. I'm not going to sit here and say he was perfect throughout every match in that season, but no one was that season. He did his job in the key matches, and he popped up when he needed to. In the second season, no one was good. No player you can sit there and say if they played in that second season after being signed from that first was a good player. You can't sit there and say they're good. Now this season, under the new manager, he's not really being played. And when he has been played, he's sort of shown that he's not got the legs to do it anymore. But when he's playing in a defensive role, when he's sitting deep, he can still put in a performance in a deep block. He can still put in a performance and win the ball. I'm not going to sit here and say he's worthless right now for us because he's still providing us with a body. He's still a defender that we can rely on and use.
No, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a vote. That's your opinion. Listen, Riri, what do you think? Speak on Casemiro for a minute. Do you think he's whatless right now, or has he always been whatless for us?
No, Cass hasn't been always been whatless for us. I think Cass can't stay. I think it's time for him to go. I don't think he's worthless. I think Cass still, like Ericsson, their issue is that their legs are gone.
Yes.
That's what it is. I mean, this is a guy that won how many Champions League? He's not a worthless player.
Nah.
Like his football IQ is still there. It's just his physicality is what's lacking, and that comes with age. That comes with any athlete when they get up in age. They can't.
He won six.
I think he should be.
Yesterday.
What? Say that again, Connor.
Sorry, I just remembered this. Yesterday, Rasmus Højlund missed that chance where Declan Rice hooked him from behind. Who won Rasmus the ball, play him in front of goal there yesterday? Who would have helped us win the match yesterday if Rasmus could shoot?
And then there's about 2 other games where he's been poor. So what are we doing here?
Who hasn't been poor this season, though? Who hasn't?
Okay, that's the point.
Who hasn't? Who hasn't? But for me personally, Joe, you ask me, for me personally.
Yeah. Finish your free.
He's in the yellow. He can't stay, but he's not worthless.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? All right, then. That's 2. Hey, boss, where have you gone, fam?
Where
have you gone?
I'm here.
I'm here. Don't worry. Don't look at me.
Let's go.
Anyway, come on then, boss. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of Cass. Is he whatless for you? Has he always been whatless, even if you think he is now? That's what I want to know.
From a financial standpoint, he's worthless because we're trying to change our wage structure, and he's somebody that is sort of holding us back into being the old Man United, and we're trying to be the new Man United right now that has better recruitment and like making sure that you're getting players and not overpaying for players, especially. So, in that sense, he's worthless and he needs to go. But for what he brings to the team, he definitely is important for the moments where we sit back and play a low block. And it seems like that will become a thing to do, until we are able to fully change the identity of the team. So he can still play a role.
Well, all right, and Abs, go on, talk to me. What do you think? Is this guy Watless? Has always been Watless, or what? What's the opinion?
I just think he's Watless now. For the vision that Ruben has, I know he played well against Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. I love Casemiro. Guys, remember that I also watched Real Madrid as well. Loved him there, but he's not the same player because the legs are not the same. The legs, physically, he can't do what he's built to do or he has been doing in his successful career. So, if I want to be kind, I will put him the same as Martinez. But I'm not trying to be kind. I'm trying to be an accountant like Jim. So, the accountant Jim says he needs to go. I think he needs to go as well.
No, this is not an accounting thing. This is not an accounting thing. This is more of your opinion in terms of how you think he's performed over the seasons.
No, he was needed in the first season. Connor's right. The second season, everyone struggled, but I mean, the clips of him diving into tackles and being left behind, I'm never going to forgive him for giving Crystal Palace that clip of him sliding off while the wingers turned him to bits. Right?
The ref cam.
I'm not going to forgive him from that because he didn't even need to make that tackle. That's what makes it worse. So then that's for last season, and in this season, he cannot keep up with what's needed in the middle of the park. And that's just the truth. That's the cold truth.
Yeah, because Casemiro was struggling when we were doing the donut formation, the 3-1-6. There was so right now when you put a player next to him that complements him, that's why under Ruud van Nistelrooy that it didn't look bad when you saw Casemiro in the midfield. He's somebody that you can still get something from, and right now we're just writing him off because.
Can I ask you, Bots?
Yeah.
Is it worth the 300,000 that we pay him per week?
No, financially, I said it. Abs. Financially, he's worth.
Forget about the money.
Financially, it's too high.
Then he
What
needs to go.
I have a question for this panel though, of all these men with all these ideas and all these opinions. You guys are getting rid of all these people. Who are we having on the bench next season?
Hold on, that's not what this is though.
No, we're doing this.
Hold on.
We're doing this, but the bigger picture.
No, why did you drop a bomb? Who
dropped the bomb?
Did you hear how he just
because Joe's the person that hasn't clarified this question, right?
Exactly.
And he's dropping the bomb. Like, how does that make sense, Joe?
Riri, how dare you associate me in what you just said in your question?
I'm sorry.
About all these men and this.
Well, I'm the only woman on the panel, so I'm addressing all the men on the panel.
I mean, we don't know what way Bots identifies, so we can't say.
I'm turning my camera off for that one.
You don't know I got powers, Connor?
He's got powers, yeah.
That's a sin, bitch. Yeah, Connor.
Oh, good. Are you gonna? Hey, listen, Connor. Red card. You're out for 5 minutes now. 5 minute red card.
Out of control.
All right. Do you know what? Yeah, let's go. You know what? The thing is, though, Riri. Yeah, just to clarify on that question, what you were saying. Yeah, it's not. I wasn't even saying to get rid of these people. By the way, I was just asking you because this is kind of driven by my agenda, innit? That we're going to be talking about, innit? Yeah, because I was saying about which one of these Ten Hag signings are flops now. Absolutely. And it will be made clear soon. Yeah.
Sorry, I might need to bounce soon, yeah. But from my understanding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 players was bought by Ten Hag. 2 are gems, 2 are staying.
Okay.
That's from my opinion. So I'm gonna try and
2 for you. Just say who the 2 are. Simple before you go.
Oh, the 2 gems for me are Euro and Mazraoui. The 2 stays are Ugarte and De Ligt.
But wait, hold on, Abs, because it says gems and it says can't stay. When I said can't stay, everybody looked at me like I was crazy. That says can't stay.
That's why we're getting onto you. Because you can't even read.
Hey,
That's
kick
not
him
my
out
fault
too.
that Joe had all the players over the words.
Because that was Joe's fault. That was Joe's fault.
That's
He
not
didn't make it
my
clear.
fault.
How was that James' fault?
Easy, because bro, you had a player standing there. We had to guess too.
Is it? Joe, you have enough pain. Guess the word, bro.
Hey,
What's
Joe,
going
you're
on?
having a mayor with your organization, by the way.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
terrible.
It's a three-letter word. It's a three-letter word. It's a three-letter word.
Organization
It's
is
a
terrible.
But
three-letter
yeah,
word.
but no. Move the player back over in
Do
between
you know?
the S.
You know,
Can't
Prim.
see.
Do you know, for someone who watches the playing show, Prim, you seem to complain about the host a lot, bro. Yeah, shut up, fam. Yes.
Yeah, but what do you expect sub players to do, though?
Say that again.
What do you expect the sub players to do? They complain onto their first team. And on that note, guys, have a good evening. I need to go eat for fasting, bro. Have a good evening.
Go. Remove. All right, go on. All right, listen though, just quickly, because those are the only two guys he says are gems, yeah? The only reason I said can't say is because I was hoping that you guys would let me know what you think of the guys of like this one here, yeah? Martinez. But, you know, that's why he has an in-between line. It's not that you can't say, you actually don't know if he should stay or shouldn't stay. But for me, I also think the guys like him, Xerxes would go in a position of like can't say, because what did I do there? Yeah, would go in the position of can't say because he's the kind of guy that he looks like he has a future, but it's still to develop, if you know what I mean. So this is the reason why I had the category of like can't say, because I would put him in the category of can't say because I'm not sure on him yet.
Yeah, like
I'm not
he's
sold.
shown glimpses, but he's not shown that he's the.
I think he's
should
not good
start
enough.
every week.
He's not good enough.
You think Xerxes is not good enough either? Yeah.
He's not good
Why do
enough.
you think he's not
The
good
standard-
enough?
He's not good enough, man.
Why?
He's not good enough. But so what did you say? I didn't hear you. What did you say? Why?
Why? I
He
just
said
asked
why.
why.
There's no attacking threat. He's got a bit of a touch every now and again. He can lay it off now and again. Is that what our standards are for an attacker at Man United? Nah, he's not good enough. How many goals
But I
he's
feel
scored
like
this
he's
season?
still developing.
Yeah, let him develop at a club of his level. I was gonna say a mid-table team, but I forgot where we are. But that's by the by. But
So it's developing in the right place, then, isn't it?
A mid-table team, so that means out.
no, but I'm always going to base players on where I think we should be. Title challenge, even top four. I'm always going to look at Man United players as that level. I can't do this wherever we are in the table. He's not good enough. Even Euro, I like what I've seen in recent weeks. But I think that people are doing too much with what he's done throughout his whole time here. He's not shown me enough evidence. He's not shown enough evidence. He's shown good glimpses. But for me, it's still very early. Only in recent weeks has it looked like he's picked up the pace of the game. And that he's
So you
and
put him in the can't say then. So what would you put him in? So can't say is a good category for him, yeah?
For me, no, personally, I think he's going to do well, and I think he has potential, but I can't say he's a gem.
So can't say then.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really liking the ranking names as well, but yeah, I guess so.
What would you put in the middle? What would you put in the middle? You know what? Let me ask everybody else. What would you put in the middle? Elkin?
Can't stay, not say.
No, because that's what list is anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's no point in putting can't stay and what list, because if they're what list, I want them to go anyway.
You could be what list? Completely worthless. And then there's other ones that can't stay. Casemiro can't stay because of the wages he's on, like what Butts was saying, but he's not worthless.
Yeah.
Onana is worthless. He's legit worthless. Anthony is worthless.
You see, this is what I'm saying. This is
worthless.
You're gonna have to start putting people in the middle line, yeah, because for me, it's not a can't stay.
You need a fourth category.
What's the fourth category? What's the fourth category? You guys want this to go for too long, bro. Listen, anyway.
No, we
don't.
For next time, so you know.
Let's just finish it off for now.
For an 18 months' time, when we've got a new manager and a new set of players we have to judge, we need a fourth category, yeah?
Yeah, next time, innit? Let's go with this one we've got right now, yeah? For me, Euro, yeah, that's why I was putting a can't say, yeah, because I feel like he's got time to develop. I actually think he's a gem, by the way, but if just like Hawkins said, he's just, for me, that's the whole reason why I put the whole can't say section, because he said that he's only started to develop into understanding the Premier League right now, right? and that's why you think that he could become something, but right now you're unsure of him, right? That's kind of what you're saying.
Not even that I'm unsure. I just haven't seen enough yet. When they're so young, and you just come, I give them a lot of time. There are some players I could see straight away. You're rubbish, or you're special. Xerxes, for me, he's rubbish. I'll be honest with you. He's not as rubbish as I thought he was. Before, I thought he was like a 1 out of 10. Now I would say he's a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Gem can't say. For me, the only other gem as well is probably Mazraoui.
I have to say Ugarte. Ugarte's probably a gem as well.
Ugarte for me is can't say. The Licht is can't say, and the rest of them, well, yeah, go, man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow.
I agree with that. Ugarte needs to be, and Xerxes needs to be in the can't say. The Delit is there as well, and the rest of them, both of them, Mazraoui and Euro are the gems, and the rest of them are.
Ugarte gotta go too.
Do you know what I'm gonna do?
No, Ugarte's in the yellow. Ugarte's in the yellow for me.
So move Ugarte.
I'm gonna organize it in the way I would have it, yeah. And then you guys could tell me how I got this wrong. I think he can't stay. I also think he's got to go. Hold on, he's.
What have you done with Mount?
Yeah.
What have you done with
no,
Mount?
don't worry. He's good, but I had to move Mount in order to get.
That's right.
Yeah,
That right there is correct.
I actually think he's a gem. Yeah, I think he's a gem. I actually think he's a gem. Yeah, but you guys are put him here, so I'm going to leave him there as the majority rule. Yeah, and the rest of them, I think, are all flops. Well, not flops, but you know, they're what less now. Actually, I would put Casemiro actually in the middle along the same line as Martinez, because it's not that he's completely worthless, but I think that he's overpriced and he has to move on. But I don't think he's downgrading. Yeah, well, I think that it's just that because for the price that he is, if he was like half the price, I would still keep him as a sub to come on and do a job. That's what I would say. But because of the price he is, that's all I'm saying. That's my opinion, isn't it? That's just my opinion. I just want to get through this quickly, though. The rest of these guys are like, all need to go. Yeah, Anthony, Onana, obviously, I'm going to put Onana massive. You definitely need to go. You must leave. Your face is going to be right there. You need to leave, yeah? The most. And then him actually, I'm going to make your face huge. You must leave. You must go first. He's my number one on the list. Number one out of all Ten Hag signings is him, yeah? He must go. Now, this is the thing, guys. Who disagrees with what I've put out here? Who should move for you? And that's it. And then we can move on from this.
I'm good.
Luke Shaw must go, but he's not one of 10 Hag signings. But go on.
I'm good with this.
Yeah?
For me,
anybody disagree with where anybody is?
For me, I feel like one Mason Mount, of course, he's been so unavailable, but if he can actually be available, he'll probably be one of Ruben Amorim's like favorite number 10.
He likes him, eh?
Shut up. And do you know why I sin-binned him? Do you know why I sin-binned him? I sin-binned him. You know why I sin-binned him?
I thought his connection failed. I was like, what happened?
No. Yeah, because the whole world knows, bro, yeah? When will Mason Mount stay fit for who, blood? How you even say that out of your goddamn trap hole? Yeah?
Bro.
No.
Hey,
how much time are we going to wait for him to stay fit?
Bro,
saying Luke's going to stay fit next season, bro. Luke's going to stay fit and be the best centre back or the best left back, but how long is he going to stay fit for?
I don't know. I'm not a prophet, but I can tell you that sometimes there's some things that happen in somebody's life where maybe like the injuries have been caused by a particular.
I'm not a prophet.
I'm going to tell you for fact that Mount will be injured next season.
Okay.
Yeah. More than 6 weeks. Yeah. Facts, bro.
We all know, yeah. We all know that Mason Mount won't thrive in this system, bro. Come on, man.
He won't.
I disagree.
All right,
I disagree.
Let me get Hawkins' opinion, please, because the three of y'all will go at it all night if we stay here.
You're right.
In general, or in Mount?
Everybody here. Everybody here, then you can talk about.
The only one I think is a gem is Mazraoui. the Licht, Euro, and Ugarte in can't say, and everyone else whatless. On Mount,
I
don't
agree with
think we
that.
should
Yeah, I
be-
think that's cool.
on Mount, we shouldn't be.
So I want to see. Hold on. I
repeating-
want to see what yours looks like. So hold on. I just want to see what that looks like. So you said
Yeah.
the only person is Musrawi, yeah? Euro down here. Him down here? Ugarte.
Yeah.
Where's Ugarte? Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Xerxes in red. I'd make Xerxes big as well. I'd make all of them big, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, just for now, so we can fit them and see who. So, and you put Martinez down here as well. Whatless, isn't it? He's whatless as well for you, isn't it? This is what yours looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
You know
yours
what?
looks like.
In that red line, Martinez is the one that I actually rate. I rate Martinez. I just think
What's
that
wrong with this? This is calm.
I just think that the injuries,
It shouldn't be there.
I don't think he'll come back the same, man. Because
You
even
know,
from
bro,
the
that's
last
the thing.
injury, he wasn't the same again already. And then an ACL on top of it, the accumulation, and he's a bit older. I just think it's too much, man.
I agree.
Put it up. I put it up there.
I
Fair enough.
agree.
You know what? We can say that, but then these players that you guys are rating have got us in the dizzy heights of 14th. So
No, I think they're talking about the tier that.
No,
that
he said
Joe
the
made
tier
up.
list that I made. He said that this is what this.
my bad. Don't watch them, Joe. Don't watch them.
Hey, Riri, you're hating on us, you know. Hey, Joe, I beg you replace me with her. Put her bottom, bro. Why am I at the bottom, man? Put her at the bottom, man. Hey, she's been hating the whole show. The whole show. I'm just.
Listen to you trying to climb up the ladder key. You want to go where Riri is? Did it make you feel better?
Make sure
Yeah.
you show up for your show on Friday. Are you back on the bottom?
Riri, he ain't gonna do that to you though. He showed up late, bro. He ain't gonna do that
So
tonight.
Joe, yeah. No, I would
Yeah,
also
go
add
on.
Ericsson as a red as well, just for the.
Oh, yeah, I
You
forgot
forgot
Ericsson.
I'll
I
put
did
him as
forget
red as
Ericsson.
well.
Ericsson's not one
And
of
to
his
be honest,
signings, is he?
This is gonna sound controversial.
Yeah, on the
He got, yeah, it was Ericsson's 10 hours.
Yeah,
the free.
that was in his
Yeah,
first
yeah.
summer. And this is
Okay,
going to
okay.
be controversial, what I'm going to say, but us signing someone that died on the pitch, God forbid, but
Well,
Try.
Jeez.
so good.
He was doing so well.
Studio. He's not even in here anymore. He's
Yeah.
not even in here. I can't even bring him on screen.
And on that note,
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, guys. On that
How
note,
did he
that
get
note-
there?
thank you guys for watching.
Why? Yeah, do you know what? Hey, you know what? On that note, Preem, I'll let you actually end the show, bro. Preem, end the show. On
Yeah,
that
man.
note,
Thank you guys for watching. This
When
has
is
been
Pro
the
Club?
Records Roundtable, closing with Joe Blackman, Botswana Papi, myself Preem, and the lovely lady herself, Riri, with her lovely locks that she got on the back of her head. Because yeah, we appreciate women, and it was International Women's Day previously.
Hey.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Prem.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you for joining the stream and being part of our community. Okay, yeah, you hear that? Yeah, okay then. Yeah. On that note, make sure you
When
like,
is Pro Club?
comment. What do you say?
When is Pro Club?
Wednesday.
We have pro clubs with myself versus KG team on Wednesday. I will play Joe's team maybe on Friday. I don't know. We have to sort of.
Yes, we'll get our matches out the way this week, and then next week is Classical.
Make sure
It's
you,
happening.
if you are
Remember
new,
that-
make sure you leave a like, follow, comment, subscribe, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel to 50k subs, man. We are
Yes.
needed.
Yes,
And
guys.
also follow the man them as well. Follow Botswana Papi on Football Power Hour, Joe Blackman on Backhand Entertainment, myself Preem Senpai as well. And Riri hasn't got a channel, but she will be starting one.
Don't
And
follow
abs,
me-
and
don't
abs,
follow
abs,
me
end
at
to end.
all.
And
Don't
follow
follow
Abs
me.
end to end as well.
Yeah.
Follow him. We
Oh,
don't
you're
hear
there,
you.
you're there.
Yes, follow me End to End Football Podcast. You can see me commenting about certain people brown nosing, but that's okay. Have a good night.
Oh my God, what's wrong with these guys ending the show like this? And big
Yeah.
up Hawking for your face reveal, by the
Yeah,
way. Joe.
big up Hokin on his debut. Yes, Hokin, big up.
Yeah,
We need to
but-
join more, man.
Thanks for having
With
me.
his
Still, he's
340,
No,
with
you
his
get the room.
240 megapixel camera, but it's fine, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Nice
still
shot.
here. Bro, I've been waiting to say that. I've been waiting to say that the whole stream, bro. Do you know when you go settings, you press settings there, you go to high resolution. They're like,
Oh my lord!
The camera's like, like
It's good now on the street,
take care, man.
Last night, Jabo. Last night, Jabo. Last night, Lule. Last night, Jabo. Last night, Jabo. Last night, Lule. Jabo, 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 Lule, Lule, Lule. Jabo, 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 Lule, Lule, Lule. Last night, Jabo, Monty Jabo, last night, Jabo, Monty Jabo, last night, Lule, Lule, honey. Last night, Jabo, last night, Jabo, last night, Lule. One man, Lule, Lord, yourself. Last night, Jabo, Monty Jabo, last night, Jabo, one man, Jabo, Lord, last night, Lule. Monty, okay. Last night, Jabo, last night, Jabo.